My parents uninvited me from the engagement party for embarrassing my sister. Then he asked why revenge. The day my family decided I didn't belong. Family doesn't break in one moment. Family breaks the moment they choose someone else's comfort over your existence. Before we begin, subscribe, because the twist at the end of this story will shake you. My name is Maya. And this is the story of how my parents uninvited me from my own sister's engagement party. Because they claimed I embarrassed her. But the truth? I didn't embarrass her. I exposed something she'd spent years hiding. And the person she was engaged to? He wanted to know why. He wanted to know everything. And once he learned the truth, my entire family's world collapsed. But before the revenge, before the confrontation, before the moment her fiancé looked at her with disgust, there was the night they kicked me out of the family group chat. Like I was nothing. The new golden girl. My older sister, Savannah, was always the favorite. Not because she was kind. Not because she was smart. Not because she worked hard. No. She was the favorite because she was beautiful. Model material, my mother bragged. Any man would be lucky, my father said. She was the family jewel. The trophy daughter. The one our parents introduced first at family gatherings. And I was the backup daughter. The one who got asked to take the group photo. The one who was told not to wear bright colors. The one who heard, "Don't stand too close to your sister, dear. She's the star today." That was my whole childhood. But things got worse when Savannah met Elliot. Because Elliot wasn't just handsome and wealthy. He was kind. The kind of man who saw people. Really saw people. And Savannah hated that. Because Elliot saw me. He saw the differences. The favoritism. The way my parents dismissed me for breathing wrong. And that scared my sister. So she did everything she could to ruin my relationship with him. Everything. The night everything exploded. It happened 3 weeks before the engagement party. We were all at my parents' house for dinner. Me, my parents, Savannah, and Elliot. Savannah was bragging, again, about her upcoming engagement party. The theme is old Hollywood glamour, she said, flipping her hair. Elegant. Sophisticated. You know, exclusive. I nodded politely. That sounds nice. She gave me a thin smile. Well, I'm not sure you'd understand the vibe, Maya. Elliot's head lifted. What does that mean? Savannah shrugged innocently. She's just not really elegant. I almost dropped my fork. Elliot frowned deeply. That was unnecessary. My mother stepped in quickly. Oh, sweetheart, don't be sensitive. Your sister is just teasing. No, she wasn't. She was marking her territory. After dinner, I helped bring plates to the kitchen. Savannah followed me in. Stop trying to impress him, she hissed. I turned. I wasn't trying. Yes, you were, she snapped. You always do this. Every time I have something good, you try to insert yourself. I stared at her. Savannah. I literally said nothing. That's the problem, she said. You do nothing. And somehow he still notices you. I blinked. You're paranoid. She stepped closer. You're pathetic. My chest tightened. But that wasn't the moment everything exploded. That moment came 30 seconds later. When Elliot walked into the kitchen. And heard everything. He stood in the doorway, shocked. Savannah. What did you just say to her? She spun around. Baby. It's not what you think. But he cut her off. No. I heard every word. My mother stormed in next. What is going on? Savannah pointed at me instantly. She twisted my words. She's trying to ruin tonight. I couldn't believe her nerve. She insulted me, I said quietly. For no reason. My father stepped between us. Maya, why are you trying to spoil this? Your sister is stressed. I stared at him. You really think this is my fault? He sighed like I was a burden. Maya. Your sister is about to get engaged. Let her have this moment. Let her have what moment? The moment she tried to humiliate me in front of her fiancé? My throat tightened. Elliot shook his head and left the room. But the damage was done. Because the next day, my parents called me. The call that broke everything. My father didn't even say hello. Maya, your mother and I talked, he said. And we think it's best if you don't attend the engagement party. My blood ran cold. What? Why? You embarrassed your sister. I blinked. She insulted me. My mother cut in sharply. Enough. You're not going. We don't need drama. This is her special day. I felt my throat closing. And I'm, what? An inconvenience? My mother didn't hesitate. Yes. The word sliced straight through me. I swallowed hard. So you're uninviting me? Your own daughter? My father exhaled. You'll live, Maya. Don't make this bigger than it is. I nearly dropped my phone. Does Savannah know you're doing this? She requested it, my mother said softly. She doesn't feel safe around you right now. Safe? Safe? Safe from what? My father added. You need to apologize to her. For what? For upsetting her. My mouth fell open. You're choosing her. Again. Always. My mother's voice hardened. Stop acting like a victim. You embarrassed your sister in front of her future husband. And you're not coming to the party. That's final. And they hung up. Just like that. No discussion. No care. No hesitation. Uninvited from my sister's engagement party. My parents didn't even blink before choosing her. But they shocked me again the next morning. Because Elliot, her fiancé, texted me. The message that changed everything. His text flashed on my screen. Maya. Why weren't you at the engagement rehearsal last night? Your parents said you weren't comfortable attending. Are you okay? I stared at the message for 3 minutes. Then I saw the second one. I need to ask you something. What really happened that night? My heart dropped. He didn't believe their story. He didn't believe her. And this? This was the moment everything turned. This was the moment her fiancé began questioning the woman he thought he loved. This was the beginning of the revenge. My sister never saw coming. He asked why. And I finally told the truth. The moment someone finally asks the right question, the entire truth begins to bleed out. Backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to subscribe. The betrayal in this part will make your jaw drop. I stared at my phone for a long moment. Elliot's message burning into my eyes. I need to ask you something. What really happened that night? He didn't believe Savannah. He didn't believe my parents. He wanted MY truth. For a girl who had spent her whole life being silenced in her own home. That meant more than he'd ever know. But it also terrified me. Because telling him the truth meant I would be crossing a line. My parents never wanted me to cross. The line where the golden child's world begins to crumble. I typed slowly. Where are you right now? He responded instantly. In my car. Outside the cafe on Rosewood. Can you come talk? Outside? He was waiting outside. Not even my parents had waited outside for me. Not once. I took a breath, grabbed my keys. and walked out of the house. My hands were shaking the entire drive. Not from fear. From years of holding things in. Years of letting Savannah rewrite the narrative. Years of pretending her cruelty was teasing. Years of watching my parents bend over backward to protect her image. At the cost of my dignity. Today? No more. The cafe parking lot, the truth begins. His silver car was parked at the edge of the lot. He stepped out the moment I arrived. Maya. His voice was soft. Concerned. Genuine. Not like my parents. Not like Savannah's. Not coated in sugar and expectation. Are you okay? He asked. No, I said honestly. I'm not. He nodded slowly. As if he'd already guessed. Can we sit? He asked. We slid into a quiet booth inside the cafe. He didn't order anything. Didn't push conversation. He just waited. Finally, he said. Maya. I don't know what's going on. But nothing about the way your parents behaved felt right. And Savannah's story. It didn't make sense. I stared at the tabletop. He leaned forward. What? Really? Happened? I inhaled sharply. Okay, I whispered. You want the truth? Here it is. The truth about my sister. She wasn't teasing me, I began. She was warning me. Warning, he repeated. I nodded. She told me to stop talking to you. To stop being in the same room as you. To stop existing near you. Elliot's eyes widened. She said I was trying to steal your attention. She accused me of trying to outshine her. He shook his head. That's ridiculous. Not to her, I said. To her, everything is competition. Everything is about image. Everything is about being the star. He exhaled. I noticed she was insecure. But not like this. I looked him dead in the eyes. She told me I was pathetic. That I was nothing compared to her. That I didn't belong in your life. His jaw clenched. And then, I continued. She went to my parents. And told them I attacked her. Humiliated her. Ruined her special night. I didn't say a single word. He rubbed his forehead. Oh my God. And because they always believe her, I said. They uninvited me. They told me I embarrassed her. They told me I wasn't allowed to come. Elliot's head snapped up. They uninvited you? From your own sister's engagement party? Yes. He blinked slowly. Processing. Anger rising. They told me you didn't want me there, I added. His mouth fell open. What? No. I would never. What the hell? I swallowed. They said you were uncomfortable having me around. That you agreed I should stay out of the way. He stared at me, genuinely stunned. Why would they tell you that? Because they want to control the narrative, I said. They want you to see Savannah as this flawless, pure person who has the perfect family. He leaned back, his face hardening. Except she doesn't. No, I said softly. She doesn't. The shift, Elliot begins to see everything. Elliot took a long breath. The kind people take right before a storm comes. Your parents. They defended Savannah instantly. They acted like you were attacking her. I know, I whispered. And when I called them, he said. Your mother told me you misbehaved. And refused to be supportive. I laughed bitterly. Of course. He stared at me. What else have they done to you? I hesitated. Not because I didn't have answers. But because I had too many. I don't know where to start, I whispered. Do you want the short version? Or the whole messed up truth? He held my gaze. I want the whole truth. So I told him. Everything. Not just the kitchen scene. Not just that night. But the entire childhood. That built the golden girl. And erased the other daughter. I told him about the birthdays Savannah got parties and I got excuses. The Christmases she got designer gifts. And I got something practical. The nights she screamed at me. And my parents told me to stop provoking her. The family photos where they made me stand behind her. The times she ruined my things. And I was told to let it go. The day my parents said out loud, "We can't risk upsetting Savannah." And then I told him something even worse. Do you remember 2 years ago? When your mother's necklace went missing? He nodded. Savannah stole it. She blamed me. I got grounded for 3 weeks. His mouth fell open. I gave that necklace to her mom. It meant a lot. I know. I swallowed. She wanted it. She took it. She lied. As always. Elliot leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Then he whispered. I had no idea. Savannah was like this. I lowered my gaze. I wasn't supposed to tell you. I wasn't supposed to exist. Her life is one long manipulation, Elliot. And she knows my parents will back her. No matter what she does. He didn't move. He didn't blink. He just stared at me like the world had shifted. Because it had. Savannah's world was cracking. And I could see it in his eyes. He wasn't angry at me. He was angry at her. Very angry. And then he said something I never thought I'd hear. Maya. Can you come with me somewhere? I frowned. Where? He stood up slowly. To my house. I need to talk to you privately. And I need to show you something. Before I confront Savannah. My heart pounded. You're confronting her? Oh, he said. With a voice colder than ice. I'm done ignoring red flags. I swallowed. What do you want to show me? He exhaled deeply. Proof. Something I found last week. Something I didn't understand then. But now it makes perfect sense. He held the car door open for me. Maya. I think your sister's been lying to me. For a lot longer than I realized. The secret he found. And the lies she built on my name. Some secrets don't stay buried. Some secrets wait. Wait for the day the right person asks the wrong question. Backhand index pointing right. Hit subscribe before we continue, because this part hits hard. Elliot's house was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet where something heavy is waiting to be uncovered. He led me inside, his shoulders tense, his jaw tight. I'd never seen him like this. Not when Savannah was late. Not when she insulted a waitress. Not even when she made passive-aggressive digs in public. But today? He looked like a man standing at the edge of betrayal. We sat in his living room. He didn't beat around the bush. Maya, there's something I found. Last week. In Savannah's office. My breath hitched. What was it? He didn't answer immediately. He walked to a drawer in the console table, opened it. And pulled out a small velvet pouch. My stomach tightened. He sat across from me. Do you remember the necklace I gave my mom? He asked quietly. I nodded. The turquoise one, I said. With the gold framing. His face tightened. Yes. That one. He opened the pouch. Inside was the necklace. The exact one Savannah stole. The one I was punished for. The one she blamed me for. I froze. How? How did you get that? His voice was ice. I found it hidden in Savannah's jewelry box. I swallowed hard. He continued. When it went missing 2 years ago. Savannah cried. She told me you took it. That you were jealous of her. That you wanted to hurt her. I felt the world tilt. So she didn't just blame me to our parents. She blamed me to him. To a man who trusted her. Who loved her. I believed her, he whispered. His voice broke. I defended her. I told my mom I misplaced the necklace. I lied to protect Savannah. My chest tightened painfully. Elliot. Why are you showing me this? He looked up. Right into my eyes. Because finding it shattered something in me. I exhaled shakily. She's been lying to you since the beginning. He nodded slowly, voice trembling with betrayal. I know that now. But until last week. I didn't want to see it. I leaned back, processing everything. Savannah didn't just hurt me. She weaponized me. She used me as a shield. As her scapegoat. As her excuse for every selfish thing she did. And Elliot was finally seeing it. The real reason he asked me here. Elliot leaned forward. Maya. After I found the necklace. I started asking questions. My heart raced. What kind of questions? The kind that made Savannah panic. He squeezed his hands together. She told me you were jealous. That you always hated her. That you were trying to ruin the engagement. I scoffed. Of course she did. She said you were obsessed with me. I choked. What? Elliot nodded. She said you always wanted what she had. And that you were acting out because you couldn't accept we were together. My stomach twisted with disgust. She actually said that? She did, he whispered. And I believed her for about 5 seconds. Until she started contradicting herself. How? Elliot took a deep breath. She said you tried to sabotage her dress fittings. But then she told her mom the store messed up. She said you insulted her in the kitchen. But then she couldn't repeat what you supposedly said. She said you were distant at dinner. But then told your mom you were desperate for attention. He shook his head. Her lies weren't matching. Then he looked up at me. And when she uninvited you from the engagement party. Something finally snapped inside me. I frowned. Why? His voice was quiet. Because the idea of celebrating one of the biggest days of my life. Without you there. Felt wrong. Silence. Long, heavy silence. I blinked. I don't understand. Maya. He swallowed. I like you. I always have. Not romantically, don't worry. But as a person. As someone genuine. Someone who isn't fake. Someone who doesn't play games. I swallowed. You saw me, I whispered. Yes, he said. And Savannah hates that. He took a breath. But that's not the only reason I asked you here. My heart skipped. What else is going on? He stood up and walked toward the staircase. Come with me. There's more you need to see. The secret room. We went upstairs. He opened the door to his home office. Inside were folders. Stacks of documents. Photos. All with one common title. Savannah Hart, background check. My blood froze. Elliot. What is all this? He rubbed the back of his neck. A few months ago. My company hired a private security firm. To do routine background checks on partners and close associates. Including Savannah. My heart jumped to my throat. And? I whispered. He didn't speak. He pulled a folder from the table. And handed it to me. I opened it. And felt my stomach drop. There were records. Receipts. Screenshots. Invoices for items Savannah claimed were lost. Credit card disputes she blamed on identity theft. Apartment rental history she lied about. College course withdrawals she insisted were mistakes. And then I saw a document that made my vision blur. A complaint against Savannah, filed by a former landlord. Tenant repeatedly blamed younger sister for damages she caused. My chest tightened. I never knew about this, I whispered. It gets worse, he said softly. He handed me another document. A social event log. Specifically, wedding planning correspondence. The emails showed Savannah telling vendors I was unstable, that I was jealous, that if I attended the engagement party, she might have a panic attack. My heart broke and hardened at the same time. She wasn't just cruel. She was calculated. She had been systematically erasing me from every part of her life, and using my name as her scapegoat. And now her lies were all documented. Elliot sat beside me. Maya, your sister isn't who I thought she was. Not even close. I exhaled shakily. What are you going to do? I asked. He looked up at me with a fire I'd never seen in him. I'm going to confront her, he said coldly. And not gently. I shook my head. No, Elliot. She'll deny everything. He smiled bitterly. I'm not going to give her the chance. What do you mean? He leaned back. I want you to be there. My eyes widened. What? No. She'll lose her mind. Exactly, he said. She's been hiding from the truth for years. But she can't hide anymore. He leaned forward. I want you standing beside me when I ask her one final question. What question? I whispered. Elliot's expression turned deadly calm. Why did she build her entire life on the destruction of her own sister? My breath caught. And Maya, he added softly, touching my hand. I want you to hear her answer. My heartbeat thundered. Because this wasn't just confrontation. This was the beginning of my sister's downfall. And the revenge? The real revenge? It was unfolding faster than either of us expected. And Savannah was about to walk straight into it. The confrontation she never saw coming. A liar's biggest fear isn't being exposed. It's being exposed in front of the person they wanted to impress the most. Backhand index pointing right, hit subscribe, because the next two parts are pure destruction and satisfaction. We left Elliot's house with a plan. Not a chaotic one. Not an angry one. A precise one. Because revenge doesn't need yelling. Revenge doesn't need screaming. Revenge needs truth. And Savannah had spent years hiding from truth. Today, it was coming for her. The drive to my parents' house. Elliot didn't speak during the ride. He drove with that cold, focused look of a man who has finally seen the real monster behind the mask. My heart raced the entire time. Because as much as I wanted justice, I didn't know how far this confrontation would go. But one thing was clear. Nothing would ever be the same. When we pulled into my parents' driveway, their car was there. Savannah's was there. Lights on. Shadows moving inside. My chest tightened. Are you ready? Elliot asked quietly. Yes, I whispered. More than ready. He nodded. Stay behind me at first, he said. I want to start this calmly. But if she lies, I want you to speak. I swallowed hard. I can do that. He reached over and squeezed my hand briefly. You deserve to be heard. No one had said that to me before. Not once. The living room, war begins. We stepped inside. My mother gasped. Maya? Elliot? What are you two? You shouldn't be here. Savannah turned, wearing that perfect, practiced smile she used whenever she wanted to manipulate someone. Baby. What's wrong? She asked Elliot sweetly. You didn't answer my texts. Sit down, Elliot said. Savannah blinked. What? He pointed at the couch. Sit down. She opened her mouth, probably to perform the dramatic, hurt girlfriend routine. But something in Elliot's expression stopped her. She sat. My father looked wary. My mother looked confused. Savannah looked mildly annoyed. Elliot remained standing. His presence filled the room like a storm cloud. Maya, he said. Come stand beside me. I walked over. My mother frowned. What is this? What's going on? Elliot didn't answer her. His eyes were on Savannah. And when he spoke, his voice was calm, in a way that was more terrifying than shouting. Savannah, he said. I'm going to ask you a question. And I want the truth. Savannah smiled sweetly. Of course. I'm always honest. Why? He said, cutting her off sharply. Have you been lying to me about your sister? Since the day we started dating? The room froze. Savannah's smile cracked instantly. What? What are you talking about? Elliot crossed his arms. I found the necklace. Her face went white. My mother stood suddenly. What necklace? The room felt like it stopped breathing. Elliot continued. The turquoise one. The one you claimed Maya stole. The one you cried about. The one I lied to my own mother to protect you. Savannah's lips parted. Her eyes darted to me. Then back to Elliot. I don't know what you... Don't lie, Elliot said sharply. You hid it in your jewelry box. My mother gasped. You what? She snapped at Savannah. You told us Maya took it. Savannah panicked. That's not. I mean. She did. No, Elliot said. She didn't. You did. My father stepped forward. Savannah. Please tell me this isn't true. Tears filled her eyes instantly. Fake ones. Daddy. I didn't want to say this out loud. But Maya has always been jealous of me. Oh my God, I muttered under my breath. Elliot's voice hardened. Stop. Stop using that excuse. Stop hiding behind your parents. Stop pretending you're the victim. Savannah stared at him. You're choosing her over me? No, he said. I'm choosing the truth. The documents come out. Elliot slowly pulled the file folder from his jacket. Savannah's eyes widened. What is that? Your background report, Elliot said coldly. Your rental complaints. Your credit card disputes. The lies you blamed on identity theft. The damage to your previous apartment you blamed on Maya. My mother turned to me, horrified. Maya. You never did that. I know. Savannah's voice cracked. Elliot. Please. Don't do this. He opened the folder and placed the documents on the coffee table. Did you blame Maya for things you did, so your parents would punish her instead of you? Savannah froze. Everyone stared at her. My father whispered. Answer him. She shook her head, trembling. No. I never. I wouldn't. But her voice was cracking. Her facade was breaking. She was cornered. The first lie shatters. Did you uninvite Maya from the engagement party? Elliot asked. Savannah swallowed. I just thought. She's jealous. She'd ruin the photos. She'd. So yes, he said. You did. I was trying to protect our relationship, she cried. By lying, he snapped. I had to, she said, voice raising. She always finds a way to steal attention. I let out a bitter laugh. Elliot looked at me. Go ahead, he said gently. So I stepped forward. Savannah, I said. Tell Elliot what you said to me in the kitchen. Her eyes widened. No. No. You're twisting. Tell him, Elliot demanded. Savannah panicked. She misunderstood. I was stressed. She took it the wrong. She said I was pathetic, I said calmly. She said I didn't belong in your life. She said I should stop existing near you. Savannah, my mother cried. I never said that. Savannah screamed. She did, I said softly. And she said far worse. Elliot stared at her like she was a stranger. My God. Who are you? She burst into sobs. You're ruining everything. All because she twisted my words. No, Elliot said quietly. You ruined everything. You lied to everyone. You blamed your sister for your mistakes. You weaponized her. And then he asked the question. He told me he would ask. Soft. Deadly. Final. Why did you build your entire life? By destroying your own sister? My mother covered her mouth. My father shook his head in disbelief. Savannah froze. Completely. Because this was the moment the truth had nowhere to run. Her lip trembled. Her eyes filled. And for the first time in years, she didn't have a script. Elliot leaned closer. I'm waiting. Savannah looked at me. Right at me. And for the first time, she didn't look superior. Or confident. Or smug. She looked terrified. And then, she whispered. Because she's always been better than me. The room exploded with silence. Everyone's breath caught. Even Elliot froze. My mouth fell open. What? I whispered. Savannah sobbed. You think you're the victim? You think you're invisible? You were always the one everyone liked. Teachers loved you. Relatives praised you. Even he. She pointed at Elliot. He always noticed you. Even when you tried to be quiet. Even when you avoided him. Even when I tried to make you look bad. I stood frozen. Elliot stared at her in disbelief. You did all this, he said slowly. Because you thought Maya was better than you? Savannah screamed. I didn't want you to see her. And now, Elliot said quietly. I see her more clearly than ever. She collapsed into tears. My mother knelt beside her, crying. My father sat down, shaking. I stood there. No longer invisible. No longer unwanted. No longer silent. Standing in the center of a truth. That finally broke through decades of lies. And this? This wasn't the end. The engagement party was still days away. And what happened next would change everything. The engagement party meltdown. You can hide lies in a home. But in public? In front of every pair of eyes you try to impress? Lies turn to dust. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe now, because this part has the kind of public revenge moment people talk about for years. The engagement party was held at an upscale rooftop venue overlooking the city. Glass walls. Golden lighting. A string quartet. Everything was extravagant. Everything Savannah had always wanted. It was her dream night. Her spotlight. Her chance to shine. But tonight? She wouldn't be the star. She'd be the collapse. Because Elliot wasn't confronting her alone. He wanted the truth laid bare in front of everyone. She manipulated, lied to, and fooled. He wanted everyone to see who Savannah truly was. And I was there to witness it. Not because my parents invited me. They didn't. But because Elliot insisted. You deserve to walk into a room your sister tried to erase you from, he'd said. So I went. Not to gloat. Not to steal the spotlight. But to reclaim my space. And the moment I stepped into the venue, conversations stopped. People stared. Whispers floated across the room like ash. Is that the sister? The one she uninvited? Why is she here? Savannah saw me. Her fake smile cracked like thin ice. What are you doing here? She hissed, marching over. Elliot stepped in front of me before she could say more. I invited her, he said. Savannah blanched. But, Elliot, you said this was our night. It is, he said coolly. And it's time your perfect night came with honesty. She stiffened. Don't embarrass me. He stepped closer. Savannah, that ship sailed the moment you chose lies over love. Her eyes widened, realizing the confrontation wasn't going to wait. And then, he motioned to the event coordinator. Can you please gather everyone? He asked. Savannah panicked. What are you doing? He ignored her. He walked to the center of the room, grabbed the microphone, and spoke. Everyone, thank you for being here to celebrate our engagement. Savannah's panic morphed into dread. Behind her flawless makeup, she was cracking beautifully. Elliot continued. But there's something important I need to address. Something all of you deserve to know. Before we talk about anything related to a wedding. People murmured. My mother, all the way in the front row, folded her arms. My father frowned. Savannah tried to grab the mic. Elliot, don't do this. Please don't do this here. He held up a hand. Please sit down. She stood frozen, shaking. Because she could feel the moment. Her world slipped from her grip. Elliot turned to the crowd. There have been lies, he said clearly. For years. Lies used to destroy someone who didn't deserve it. My chest tightened. People turned toward me. Savannah whispered desperately. Elliot, please. He continued anyway. I want you all to know what Savannah did to her sister, Maya. A ripple swept across the room. Savannah covered her face. My mother gasped. My father stiffened. And Elliot exposed everything. The public unraveling. This woman, Elliot said, pointing at Savannah, stole from her sister. Framed her for things she did. And lied to me repeatedly. Whispers grew louder. Savannah's head shook violently. That's not true. He's twisting things. Maya always. Elliot raised his voice. Savannah stole my mother's necklace. And blamed Maya. Gasps. Shock. Aunt Linda nearly dropped her champagne glass. Elliot reached into his pocket. And held up the turquoise necklace. This was found hidden in Savannah's jewelry box. The room erupted. My father looked like he was going to faint. My mother whispered. Oh my God. She blamed Maya for that. Savannah stuttered. I didn't. She. Elliot didn't stop. That wasn't the only lie. He spread out the documents. The background reports. The rental disputes. The accusations she'd pinned on me. She blamed Maya. For damages. For stolen property. For financial problems. She caused. Savannah screamed. Stop it. Stop it. You're making me look crazy. Elliot turned calmly toward her. You don't need help looking crazy, Savannah. You did that all on your own. People gasped. But Elliot wasn't done. He pointed at me. Maya didn't come tonight. Because her parents uninvited her. Because Savannah told them. She felt unsafe around her own sister. Every head whipped toward my parents. My mother's face drained of color. My father stared at the ground. Savannah was hyperventilating. She manipulates people, she cried. She's jealous. She ruins everything. My jaw clenched. Elliot stepped between us. You accused Maya of embarrassing you. So answer this, Savannah. What exactly did she do? Savannah froze. She was just. Tell everyone, Elliot demanded. Silence. Pure, complete silence. She had no answer. Because there was nothing. Nothing she could twist. Nothing she could invent. Nothing she could use. And then. Her mask shattered. Fine, she screamed. I didn't want her here. Are you happy now? I didn't want her anywhere near you. Elliot's face hardened. And why is that? Savannah's voice cracked. Because you look at her. Silence. Her broken confession spilled out like poison. You notice her, she sobbed. Everyone does. And I hate it. I hate that she just walks in and people like her. I hate that she doesn't try and still gets attention. I hate that you. She choked. She couldn't finish it. Couldn't say the truth. That even he saw me long before she wanted to admit it. Elliot stepped back. There was no anger in his eyes. Only disappointment. You lied to me, he said softly. You lied to everyone. And you tried to destroy your sister. Because of your own insecurity. Savannah collapsed. Literally collapsed. Falling to her knees on the cold marble floor. People stared. Cameras recorded. Aunts whispered. Cousins gasped. Family friends exchanged shocked looks. Her perfect image. Her glamorous, polished persona. Was melting right in front of them. And then came the final blow. Elliot looked at her one last time. I can't marry someone like you. The room exploded. No. No. Please. Elliot. Don't. Don't leave me. Savannah sobbed hysterically. But he turned away. He walked toward the exit. He stopped next to me. You coming? He asked quietly. I nodded and followed. My mother's voice cracked. Maya. Where are you going? I turned to her. Somewhere I'm wanted. And for the first time in years. I walked out of a room. Not in tears. But in power. Savannah was left behind. On her knees. Screaming. Begging. Breaking. And everyone saw her. Everyone saw the truth. Everyone saw exactly who she was. And that was the revenge she never saw coming. The aftermath of truth. And the life I built after her lies fell apart. Revenge is never about ending someone else. It's about beginning yourself. Backhand index pointing right, hit subscribe. This final chapter gives the closure your viewers crave. We didn't say a word until we got outside. The air on the rooftop escalated quickly. From champagne sweetness to bitter truth. But outside, under the warm glow of streetlights, the world felt steady again. Elliot let out a long breath. The kind of breath people release when they finally walk away from something toxic. I'm sorry, he said quietly. You should never have been dragged into this. I shook my head. You didn't drag me. Savannah did. He nodded slowly. Yeah. But I let myself believe her for too long. We walked down the empty sidewalk together. A strange, peaceful silence settling between us. He wasn't mine. I wasn't his. There was no love triangle. No romantic tension. Just two people. Standing in the ruins of lies. And finally seeing each other clearly. Are you okay? He asked softly. I took a breath. For the first time in years. I think I am. Back at home, the collapse of the Golden family. When I walked into our house. My mother was sitting in the living room. Holding a glass of water like she might drop it. My father was pacing. Back and forth. Back and forth. They looked up at me like they'd seen a ghost. Maya, my mother whispered. What have you? I cut her off. No. What have you done? She blinked, stunned. You believed everything she told you. You punished me for her lies. You treated me like I was your enemy. My father opened his mouth. But I wasn't finished. You uninvited me. From the biggest moment in our family. Because of her insecurity. My mother's voice cracked. She's upset. She needs us. No, I said firmly. She needs help. Not blind protection. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Maya. I swear. We didn't know. I know you didn't, I said softly. That's the problem. My father approached me slowly. I'm sorry, he whispered. For everything. For believing her. For doubting you. For failing you. It was the first real apology I'd ever heard from him. And suddenly, I wasn't angry anymore. I was tired. Exhausted. Years of being unheard. Get heavy inside your bones. I'm not staying here tonight, I said. My mother froze. What? Why? Because I need space. And you too need to clean up the mess you created. My father nodded, defeated. Do what you need to do. For once. They didn't try to stop me. Where I went next. Not to a hotel. Not to a friend's house. But to a small, quiet place that felt safe. The guest room at Elliot's mother's home. She opened the door at midnight, surprised. Maya? Is everything all right? I nodded weakly. Can I stay here for the night? She didn't ask questions. Didn't pry. Didn't lecture. She simply said. Of course, sweetheart. Anytime. And she hugged me. A real hug. Warm, tight, motherly. Something I didn't realize I'd been craving for years. She tucked me in with a blanket. And left a cup of hot tea on the nightstand. Saying softly. Whatever happened tonight. I'm glad you chose yourself. I cried silently until I fell asleep. Not from pain. From relief. The next morning, the aftershock. At 7:42 a.m. My phone lit up with messages. Not from my mother. Not from my father. From cousins. Aunts. Old family friends. Even co-workers who had attended. Messages like, I had no idea she treated you like that. You were always the sweet one. We're proud of how you handled it. Savannah showed her true colors. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Years of being invisible. And suddenly everyone saw me. Because truth has a way of shining. Even on the darkest people. Where was Savannah? She didn't message me. Of course she didn't. But around noon. My father texted. Savannah is at a hotel with your mother. She's not speaking to anyone. She refuses to eat. She's hysterical. My stomach twisted. Not with guilt. With clarity. She wasn't devastated because she lost Elliot. She was devastated because she lost her mask. People saw her. People saw what she'd been hiding for years. And Savannah didn't know how to exist without being adored. Elliot came back for closure. Around 2 p.m. Elliot knocked on the guest room door. He was tired. But lighter. Maya. I wanted to thank you, he said softly. For what? For telling the truth. For standing there. For letting people see the real her. I shook my head. I didn't expose her. She exposed herself. He smiled sadly. That's the thing about manipulators. They unravel the moment they can't lie anymore. We sat on the edge of the bed. Quiet. Comfortable. Different. I'm leaving her for good, he said firmly. I know. And I hope. Whatever comes next for you. It's better than the life you had under that roof. I looked up at him. I think it will be. My parents' realization. That evening. My parents asked to see me. Not at home. At a cafe. They walked in quietly. No shouting. No guilt-tripping. No dramatics. Just two parents. Who finally understood. They had hurt the wrong daughter. My mother spoke first. Maya. We owe you more apologies than you'll ever get. I stayed silent. She continued. We protected the wrong child. We believed lies. Because loving her was easier than seeing the truth. My father added softly. And we failed you. Utterly. Completely. Shamefully. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't break. I just said. I don't hate you. But I'm not ready to come home. And they nodded. Not angrily. Not defensively. Just, accepting. Where I went from there. I didn't return home. I rented a small apartment with help from a scholarship. Elliot's mother helped me apply for. I finished school. Got into a good university. Built friendships that weren't based on comparison. Built confidence that wasn't built on someone else's opinion. And slowly. Carefully. I rebuilt myself. My parents worked on themselves. Therapy. Reflection. Honest conversations. It wasn't easy. It wasn't perfect. But it was progress. And Savannah? She moved in with a friend for a while. People distanced themselves. Her reputation took a major hit. She tried to post overly cheerful things online. But everyone could see through it. Eventually, she apologized. Not a manipulative one. A real one. A broken, defeated, quiet apology. I'm sorry, Maya. I was jealous of you. I didn't know how to be your sister. And I forgave her. Not for her. For me. The real revenge. Revenge wasn't the meltdown. It wasn't the expose. It wasn't Elliot walking away. The real revenge? Was that I walked into the engagement party. As the sister no one wanted. And walked out. As the woman no one could ignore. I didn't destroy Savannah. Truth did. I didn't ruin her engagement. Her lies did. I didn't steal attention. I finally received what was always mine. A voice. A place. A life. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.